going to take a moment and talk about Void Song. In particular, this scan right here. A lot of people are trying to utilize this to say that the Speed Force is weak against sound, which is absolutely false. Because here's the thing, if you read this scan, as well as read the rest of Void Song, you will realize that the Speed Force cannot be killed by sound. I am going to break down this scan panel by panel, as well as show you other things from Void Song to support this. For context, if you want to read up on this on your own, please pick up Aquaman Flash Void Song. It's a 3-issue or 3-book series. So let's start things off by breaking this down panel by panel and actually read what's being said here. In the first panel, Barry Allen starts off by saying, "This is Earth right now. The computer scanned that frequency across the entire planet and came back with this." Aquaman responds, "Yeah, they're everywhere. We knew that already." Flash responds, "Shush, and watch the simulation." In the next panel, Barry states, "So flash fact, everything on the planet has kinetic energy. The planet moves, so everything on it does too. And since everything that moves has kinetic energy, you get it. It's kind of the key to everything we do, all the way down to gravity itself. Incidentally, it's the way that the Speed Force manifests in our reality, which I'm kind of shocked that your computer knows, but we can talk about that another time." Now pay attention to this panel, because Barry says, "But see, the song, it's not a song." Not really, because sound is just energy traveling in a wave. And this song, this wave being transmitted from the ships and using everyone on the planet as amplifier is not transmitting energy, it's nullifying it. That's why they can't move. That's why physics is screwy. That's why the rain stopped falling. They're eating the planet's kinetic energy, starting from the outside and moving in, slowing the rotation of the Earth, moving to the core until everything, all of it, every molecule on the planet just stops. This is how you kill a world. So when we actually read this scan panel by panel and not leave anything up to interpretation, the facts that are being stated is this. First is that, of course, we know the world creates kinetic energy. Everything that moves creates kinetic energy. And the Speed Force manifests itself through kinetic energy. The Void Song is not actually a song. It is energy using a wave of sound to transmit itself. So it's traveling on a sound wave, but it, in fact, is an energy. And it is consuming the planet's kinetic energy, which is eventually stopping the planet from rotating and killing the planet. It is not killing the Speed Force. It is not sound. It may use sound to travel, but is an energy source. The sound is like the gun, and the energy source is the bullet. But, right, we're not just going to look at one scan and throw up a definitive answer. Let's look at the rest of Void Song to add more context. When Flash and Aquaman confront it, it states that it eats speed. It is its fuel source, similar to the Flash. It's not killing the speed, it is using it. It is absorbing it. It's consuming it. Flash even says this, the Speed Force. They hunt and eat the Speed Force. Not kill it, eat it, absorb it. Very much like the Flash, but on a grander, larger scale. We also find more of the origin of these alien beings in the Void Song itself and what it actually is. And in talking with Aquaman, Barry finds out that this is basically an Atlantean space program and that it needed a fuel source that doesn't burn, an inexhaustible fuel source, which is the Speed Force, which makes sense. And while trying to figure out how to defeat the Void Song, defeat this program, Barry states this being travels from world to world, hunting the Speed Force and slurping it down. Then it uses that Speed Force and zips off to the next target, rinse and repeat. Notice how he says that it slurps up the Speed Force and then uses the Speed Force. It is not killing the Speed Force, it is consuming it and then using it to go to its next target. To show even more support, their solution for defeating the Void Song comes here. where Flash says, and right now, I'm empty. I'm like a Speed Force vacuum. If I can open myself up to it, it'll flow into me like a burst dam, which is stating that Flash can access the Speed Force and flow it out through him. Flash then takes the Speed Force, channels it through Aquaman's trident, and bursts the Speed Force across the planet, giving it to every hero so that they can counter the Void Song, destroy the alien-like entities, and save the world. So let's recap. When we read the comic, what do we actually learn? Not interpret, but learn. First and foremost is that the Void Song is energy. It is in a form of energy absorption. It eats kinetic energy. It slurps off of the Speed Force, but it doesn't kill it. Not at all. It absorbs it and uses it like a fuel source, similar to the Flash. The only time that sound really gets brought up is when it states that it is energy that is traveling on a sound wave. And that the only thing that's being killed is the planets that this Void Song is absorbing the Speed Force from. The Speed Force is not being killed. The planets are. And again, if you read more than just one page, you will realize that it's stated multiple times that the Speed Force is not being killed. It is being absorbed and used by these entities to feed itself, to go to other planets and continue the process. So does sound kill the Speed Force? No, not at all. Now, can we talk about energy manipulation? Yeah, the Speed Force or kinetic energy is being manipulated, so energy manipulation could still affect Speed Force users. But again, that's not the thing that's being brought up by everyone. The thing that's being brought up by mostly Marvel fans is that the Speed Force can be killed by sound. And nowhere in the Void Song, in this panel, or the rest of the 3-book series does it say that it's being killed. Only being consumed and then used. But hell, even if it's an energy manipulation or energy absorption, we see that Flash can have his speed or power stolen from him, and he can just absorb it right back. So if you want to make this a claim as an energy absorption thing, that's perfectly fine. That's a discussion for a different time in which we can have. So guys, let's stop using this to say that the Speed Force can be killed by sound, because that is just false. I have proven to you by using the context of the story, the words on the panel, and more than just one scan, other parts of the story to show you that that is just a false interpretation, and that if you actually read things, you will realize what is being said. The Speed Force cannot be killed by sound.